Kindly sit down. Thank you for your courtesy. Again, I have, you have the barons of the business of this country, and you deliver a 3-page speech. Mukhang nakaka-insulto ito. If I were one of you, I'd really stand up and go home. I'd like to acknowledge the following. Former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, Mamayang gabi. Senate President Aquilino Pimentel III, the Executive Secretary Salvador Mijaldia. Okay na ba yung gout mo? O yung... Ano ba gout yun? Finance Secretary Carlos Dominguez III. Siya yung dapat sumagot sa lahat except for the law and order and to normalize things. But if it is an issue of money, ang alam ko lang kung talaga akong tanungin, where can I get the money, mag-hold up sa bangko. It's about, and maybe the collection of taxes. That's the only sources that to me is visible and available. We have the members of the Consular Corps and the members of the Cabinet, the members of the House of Representatives, Mr. George Barcelon, Philippine President of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry, mga kababayan ko at mga amo ko, I see a number of cabinet members, and I am glad. But I'd like to start with maybe mahina na kasi ang memory ko. May I have that copy you folded with your hands as the things that you'd like. No, the biro lang. We will just give it to Sunny and we will discuss that in the next meeting. It's a long list, but I'll start first with when you talked about the award given to the Fire Bureau for their services and maybe acknowledging their importance in the structural society and governmental obligations. There was this raucous, again, everybody blaming my mouth. Kasi may tinanong, and with due apologies to the former president. Para malaman mo lang rin, I think he was asked what he thinks is the progress of the drug campaign. Obviously, during our time. And maybe out of, I would say, it was not quite a well thought of answer. He said na walang nangyari. Parang walang nangyari, mag-iisang taon na. Look, itong shabu, and drugs, etc., cannot be solved by one man for a president for one term. It has bugged nations. Hindi nga kaya ng Amerika, tayo pa. America is under siege because of drugs. And they are far more than us. Yet, of course, they do not admit it. Pero until now, I said they're fighting a useless war there that never ends. And the sad part of it is that most of the drugs are provided by their good neighbors. It has until to a point where President Trump almost mimicked my threats and said that he would, waste them all. And even Theresa May said that I'll rip the law on human. Those were just expression of leaders in exasperation. Ako, madali lang talaga. Kung gusto lang ninyo, I can maybe reduce the drug people by almost 1/2 tomorrow. But yung lahat makita ko dyan sa kanto nagpapabili ngayon, talagang papatayin ko yan. There's no other way to do it. Because hindi naman sila nagdadala ng the street level of fighting there. Isa-sisa lang eh. And there's really a big loophole in the law. Pag silang so many grams, yun lang naman, one effort to run there, and if we're able to sell about 20 sachets a day, you're okay. So pag nahuli yan sila ng isang sachet, they always go out the following day. And they jump bail forever. They don't bother to show up again. So yung archive ng drugs dyan, and if you go to the places of the courts, talagang nakapatong yan. Cannot be located. There's a devious design there. Itong mga drugs, including itong mga police. For example, yung police. Pag nahuli mo yan, all they have to do is to disappear. At yung station commander na nagdala ng gago doon, will just say, nag-iwol na yun. O awol. So hindi mo na makita. Then after a few years, titignan yung complainants, buhay pa ba o patay? Or are they ready to testify? Or they are dead, tired, bone weary to go to the courts? So if the things that he wants to happen, sabihin niya, nawala na, walang interesado, or even that idiot there who serves the notice, sabihin lang niya doon na witness cannot be located, or Rodrigo Duterte cannot be, is no longer has transferred to another residence, unknown. Nobody would really, there's no follow-up unit that's dedicated really to follow up persons who have jumped bail or criminals on the loose. We just a reactive government entity. It does not really go after, but if there's something to attend to, tapos may away, yun. Doon pa po, kung sabihin mo na if per chance, baka mahuli at ma-identify po the previous crimes. But other than that, it's really topsy-turvy. So, mahirap itong habulin. Kung ako, well, I would say, without batting an eyelash, pero not really to push my own chair. I did it because I had my way. Ganon rin. Pero you cannot do it in Manila or in any other place. Ako naman, yung totoo, yung hindi naman talaga magsabi ako that, before we can progress, that's my statement to Mr. Ayala. Sani was most of the time there in our meetings with the businessmen of Davao. Sinabi ko, classmate ko man ito si Sani. Yung economics niya noon sa school, 95, ako 75. How can you compare me with him? So you have to listen to him. And I told, ito si Wendell Abisado, ito tao ni Ayala talaga. Sabi ko, sir, I can only guarantee you that I will impose law and order in the city, my way. But when the road is paved for you safe enough to pasok kayo, you take care of business. So that was the arrangement. You have Sunny here to tell you that it's true. Wendell Abisado was the top man, the top honcho of Ayala. Yun ang sinabi ko sana. And we succeeded. And my warning to everybody was, do not destroy my city. I'm trying hard to improve on it. My job is not to kill criminals. I am here to build a city. But kindly avoid Davao. Because if you destroy the rhythm, I will kill you. And if you keep on selling drugs to our young daughters and sons, you're almost killing the next generation. Probably kayo dito, you can. But most of us kami, we rely on pensyon namin sa gobyerno, including the firemen and the policemen. Pag kung hindi maintindihan niya ang mga human rights, ang pag-asa namin, papatapusin yung anak namin, because by the time we grow old, we only can expect GSIS or SSS. And that is where we expect to be the source of, to buy medicines, hospitalization for some time. Then after that, you hurry up because you want to die because you have no more resources. And your children, na maasahan mo, for the food, yung lugaw na kakainin mo at susubo ng lugaw sa bunganga mo, yun yung mga anak namin. Hindi man kami mga mayaman. Well, I can't afford a hospitalization. I get a bigger sum because I'm pegged to the last salary. That would really be big. Unlike the others, half of the time lang sila. I can afford to be hospitalized maybe until it goes a flat line. Yung iba, dyan sa hospital clinic, you're only good for about 3 months. At pag nawala na yung medisina, no heroic effort siya, patayin mo na lang yan. Wala na, matanda na rin. And we are drained financially. Lahat yung taga-gobyerno, tanungin mo sa baba, ganun talaga. That is the typical and true story of there's no middle class here. So yung sa baba, you have to jump from A to lower C, D, and E. Yan ang society ngayon ng Pilipinas. So kasi yung pagsabi ng, when you are asked, how is the campaign against drugs? At sabihin mo na, walang mula na wala. Look, I have lost, to date, when I was president, I have lost about 92 policemen. Soldiers, almost 200. Why? Why more soldiers than policemen? This is just a drop run. Because in Mindanao and other places, when you raid, when you conduct a seize and seizure, you cannot just do it, your police now with a shotgun and rifle M16. You have to bring along with you a machine gun, a bazooka, and everything. And it is always war there. Ayaw lang kasi naniwala because nabaon yung issue sa, I'm not saying that it is true or it is not true. For all I care, they can say that it is really true that I killed people. Nabaon yung issue sa yung human rights. Sinakyan kasi nila, you know very well, you're all Filipinos. It was an issue of Nograles. Yung congressman, yung speaker, yun ang dapat kung gusto kong patayin talaga. Hindi ko lang mapatay-patay ang gag. Nakikinig yung buang yan. Kasi yung asawa niya, pinsan ko. Kasi yung nagkukunik, yung every death there na basaksakan, meron silang tiga . Ako naman, I'm the type na, maniwala ka dyan. O sige, maniwala kayo. So if it's really a stupid story and you want to be, sige. So that was the issue in Davao. Always, every election, drugs, killings, extrajudicial, tapos women. Si Duterte ka, totoo yan. Bakit? Babae na yan, ayaw mo pa, gago ka pala. Ako ganoon ako. So, when I ran for the presidency, no one really expected that to happen. Yung issue was inano nila. But my God, I could not have killed 7,000. Itong mga bubo na. The thing is just, lahat na namatay doon. How can you kill 7,000 and not raise a howl? Ano ba tingin ninyo mga taga Davao? Bobo? Unless you're ready to say na itong si Bebot Belios from Davao, walang ginawa ito except to condone and to... my other cabinet member is a priest. Iwasco. You think that we are friends and he would not tell me, stop it, you're going overboard? I'm saying this because yung pagsabi kasi na na-insulto ko siya. Sabi ko, gunggong. Kasi sabi ko, marami na akong patay na pulis, pati sundalo. Pagka sinabi mo kasi walang nangyari, you are not only belittling, but you are insulting me, the Philippine National Police and the Armed Forces. And I am oversensitive. Because tell me straight, during the first day of the siege of Marawi, how was it done, or what precipitated actually? There was not a rebellion, right? Ganon. They were there to serve a warrant of arrest for drugs. Diba? The police there went, but needed a backup, so there was the Marines. Little did we know, and I must admit to you now, that although alam ko noon pa, at naririnig ninyo ako about Lanao, nobody was just listening, the nonchalant Manila. Kaya talaga ang sakit ng mga taga-probinsya. Gusto ko magmura, kaya lang nandiyan si Presidente. Tsaka ayaw ko na, sabi ko, kanina ako, so sinabi ko lang, huwag kayong magkamali. Not during my time. I do not really care if general problem ko lang. Huwag mo akong gawain gago. I was there, but I was also to assure them. Masakit sa akin kasi I proclaimed martial law there. And I sent the soldiers there to die. Kaya palagi ako nang doon, hoping also that I'd get a bullet in the head, and probably that would satisfy everybody. Natutuhanan yung kanya. But the action there initially was to serve a warrant for a drug case. Then it went out of proportion. Then we discovered na they were really preparing to proclaim Marawi as the first caliphate city. So they had the tunnels, and they accumulated the explosives overnight. Kaya hirap tayo ngayon. And what is stopping us now is there are 300, baka kasama yung pari doon, who are held hostages. Gusto ng army, ito doon, i-assault, sabi ko, wag. We will just have to wait it out. If it would take 10 years dyan, kung yung nailan na lang naiwan dyan, you have to give them food. You might hate really the Maute guys, but how about the Christians there who are being hostage? And if you go there and start the killing, they'll be beheaded immediately. Mas dinagdagan mo yung problema. Nag-order ka na ng... Kaya ako oversensitive. So huwag kang basta-basta na lang magbitaw ng salita dyan. Because these things are happening. And I suffer every day. Kasi may patay talaga araw-araw. I can assure you, 2 or 3 soldiers die. O police, kasi dinagdagan na namin ng police doon. I had to get some. I'm warning you, but they know. Tell me what will happen if that thing in Marawi happens in 5 cities in the Philippines tonight. Sige? Sleep on it tonight. It took us, how? We are now on the 3rd month. Now, if this kind of thing happens, even in 3, 4, 5 places, walang gira. It's about terrorism, 3, 4, 5, 6, with many explosives. How do you think we can cope up? And that's why I went to the police. I spent the whole day talking to the police, then reviewing the intelligence setup, including the. I told them to be very careful about these things. But I also, and it's anniversary nila. I really went there to warn them about these contingencies. As of now, marami tayong police. Okay tayo, Manila we have. But sabi ko, think of just 3 same incidents in Luzon or in the Greater Manila area. Itong numbers natin ngayon, sishrink ito. Because the trouble implodes from right in the city. Then you think that you have that numbers to cope up. That's the problem. I should not be talking about it. Alam na lahat. So I said, yung mga na wala namang nalaman, basta just blurt out, you simplify the problems and you do not think of the consequences of your statement. Be careful. Si Grace po naman, wala man akong away. Kaya lang, she's a fan of a motherhood statement. What's your, I was campaigning, I was already, the longest count was 67, putang ina. Yun ang record ko during the campaign. When I was inaugurated, gusto ko, and every time I am in public, I cast epithets and all. And sabi ko, I don't care. If that is my behavior, fine. If you cannot bear it, you go out. That's me. I cannot change at this late day. Pero kung sabihin mo na what's my mouth, what do you have to admonish me? During the campaign, I was doing it. I'm doing it every day. And it is connected with an issue that is very, very sensitive to the soldiers. And sabi ko, I'll give you an example. I was elected June, I took my oath. July, August, nagpunta na ako, ma'am, sa, I'm addressing myself to Senator Pia. Pumunta na ako sa medical center. Sabi ko, meron kayo nito. The main building was a decrepit, dilapidated thing, at yung drainage niya was blowing up instead of down. Sabi ko, putang ina, sorry. Paano magagaling itong ating sundalo? So, sabi ko, I'll give you a new building. You can have this torn down, or if you want, mas mahal mag-rehabilitate. Turn it down, I'll give you one, a new one. So all in all, in that meeting, that night, nandoon yung mga sundalo, andyan na, Lorenzana, Anyo, Speron. I gave about $500 million. Sabi ko, may barrack kayo. Wala. Barrack is very important, high pressure to slow down infections. And I know that, you know why? Kandidato ako noon ng barrack, yung hyperbarrack. Dahil may Berger's disease ako. Nandyan man si Secretary Obial. Kaya nakita ninyo I was greeted by my grandchildren and there was this converter, it's an oxygen. Sabi na, I'm dying. Di ko totoo. No problem about that. The day that you are born, every one of us is already about to die. It's only God. Kay kumatos na raw ako, kay nagpaano ako sa buhok ko, Kaganda-ganda pa ng buhok ko eh. And I took after my mother. Eh, kung father ko, wala talagang bagong na siguro ngayon. But mother side ako, sa awa ng Diyos, wala namang ganda-ganda pa nga eh. I am just talking about life, but I am sure we will take up your, I am just telling you stories. I usually do not deliver speeches. Because that is the way that, I'll tell you the other way of doing it. After hearing your president talking about issues today, I am confident that by the next meeting of the cabinet, Secretary Dominguez will be able to come up with the money that is not there. That is why he's getting old. I do not do it that way. Ako, istorya lang. And usually it's of human interest. So we go now to itong governance. Sabi ko sa inyo, to make it easy for you to establish business. I've told you before, Mr. Wallace is there. Nandiyan si Architect Palafox. Si classmate ko, Art Tugadi of Transportation. Ito talaga, no? Wala akong biro. Mayaman yan. Bilyonaryo yan. Totoo lang. Bilyonaryo yan. Sa college of law pa kami, si working student, he was already a CEO. Talagang bright to. Baka akala na ni maliit nila. Hindi lang kasi high profile. Bebot Belio. Komunista talaga yan. Wala nang, sige, balik-balik doon. Kasama kami sa dormitorio. Yan, kasama niya sa Dulay. I appoint to Dulay, pati siya. Dulay, ganun lang yan. I know his values because we were together in the dormitory. There was a time when he used to rob the PX there. For us na hindi makauwi ng probinsya ng Holy Week because natalo sa... That's why hindi talaga ako pumayag niya kay Alay. No. Lahat kami mga estudyante noon, nandoon kami, gabi-gabi doon sa Alay. Tapos wala ng pera pagkain, pan na lang pati yung tubig dyan sa fountain. Yan ang bisya. Kaya sa nung president, wala, basta sugal. Yung hindi ko kaya talaga, hindi mo pigilan, you better tax them than fight them. You cannot because electronics might as well just get the best out of what you can get. So itong sabihin ko sa inyo, if there's a corruption, even just a whiff of suggesting to you, sabihin ko sa inyo, murahin na ninyo yan. We in government do not have that right to ask money other than our salaries. Bakit kayong mga, lalo na, if you're a big business, you report to us. If it's about this Debor and Secretary Mariano sa DAR. Mga left, both left. Doesn't mean to mga left kami na we work for the people, whether you're on the left or on the right. Trabaho namin yan. But corruption is really one I do not like. Pati yung anak ko ngayon, sinasali dyan sa customs. I told you before, and I'm telling you now again, kung sino sa mga anak ko ma-involve sa corruption, I will immediately resign. That you have my word. Wala na ako. I'm 72. I am still good for one marriage. Pero okay na yan sa akin. Wala naman rin akong gawin. So better find a new bride. Wala ka ng trabaho. At 72, you give me 3 to 7 years and I'll be ready to go. So, wala akong I said, I didn't ako kilala, but to tanongin lang niyo yung mga kakilala ko. Pag sinabi kong gawin, sinabi ko, kaya kapag sinabi kong papatayan kita, talagang papatayan kita. You know, which is more dangerous? Tell you. A body politic that is contaminated with narco politics, or the drug pushers and drug lords. Kita mo si Albuera, si Espinosa, pinatay sa jail. Good for him. Tapos Marcos and the rest were indicted. Si Aguirre, classmate ko rin yan. I think he was the salutatorian, no? Valedictorian to eh. Sabi ko, he asked me, Mayor, yung sa Albuera, he was killed, mukhang murder. Sabi ko, if that is your opinion, go ahead, file a case. Hindi, kilala nila, nandiyan nila sa cabinet ko, go ahead, file a case. No problem for me. Let's have a trial. So it goes to a court, and the court says it's homicide. Well, no problem, murder, homicide sa akin. We can have the trial. Tapos sabi nila na the trial will start. I'll give them the lawyer. They are my policemen. I am the chief, commander-in-chief of all armed forces. Kaya pati police, pati kapgo, they're under me. I am responsible for them. And if they say that the story na may baril, I will believe them. If the fireman here would say na dito na kumpisa ang sunog, sinong paniwalaan ko? Yung mga witnesses sa labas o yung police na nagtrabaho? Pinatayin nila, that's fine. But kung sabi nila may barilan, I'll believe you. Bakit ako maniwala doon sa labas? Maniwala ako doon sa police. Sabi, rub out town. Wala akong pakialam. Basta sinabi ko, ang sinabi ng police sa report, yun ang akin. So sabi ko, total in the end, sinabi ko sa kanila, wala kang problema. The end game is mine. That is the protection that I can, that's the mantle of protection that I can give to the police and the soldiers. Just do your work, do it according to law. Do not abuse, because you will be the one, you'll be at the receiving end instead. Kayo ang papatayin ko. Huwag ninyo akong do not. So, nabi ko talaga. Pero sabi ko, nasabit, okay, sige. I-convict, fine. Sabi ko lang, when is the promulgation? Tomorrow, sir. Del, bigyan mo nga ng pardon. Pagkatapos, finding you guilty of murder, you're hereby sentenced to reclusion perpetua. Katapos ng basahan, you give him the pardon. Pardon is granted to the... Para hinog, ganun rin. Yun ang sabi ko, narco-politics. Itong si Albuera, pinatay niya siguro mga 3 pulis who opposed him sa kanyang drug. Itong si Paranghinog yan, sige sila kot-kot ng patay dyan. I don't know how many now na retrieve nila na yung kay Delilah sa akin, isang skeletal lang naman yun. Punta ko doon sa krami, sinilip ko yung prisuhan niya. Gusto kong sabihin, malayo man. Punta ko sabi ko, saan na yung gaga na yun? Sa doon, dinala ako. Punta ko sabi ko, I cannot imagine that. The air capacity to. Imagine, she can even convince foreigners. Yung mga tuntong mga Ihudi. Tapos magpunta dito to declare na can she be house arrested because is a prisoner of conscience. pagkabugok talaga itong mga... You're using debate with all the, pati yung pardon, pati yung video. Yan, tinagnan niya kung anong klaseng babae yan. And they come here and say, she is a prisoner of conscience, my God. Sandali lang kay I'm trying to replay the video. Okay, maingay. You're disturbing me. I can still see the dog na yung karga-karga niya palagi sa opisina niya. Huwag talaga yung drugs. Ayaw ko yung drugs. Anak ng... That's what I said. I will destroy, I will kill you. Because if you destroy my country, I will kill you. But do not misinterpret it the other way. Sinamin ko yan ngayon sa inyo, if you destroy the young, my daughter, my granddaughter, talagang papatayin kita. What right do you have to do that to your fellow men? Anong kasalanan ko sa iyo? Bakit gawin mo yan sa mga anak mo? Talagang papatayin kita. Somebody has to do it. And I will be happy to do it. I go to hell, nakareserva na ako doon. At saka yung magaganda dyan noon sa mga nightclub, nandoon naman sila lahat. Overdose ng drugs. Ayun, mga magaganda dyan. Lahat ng pangit noon sa langit. Tsaka kung gusto mo nang punta ng heaven, sino who will stop you? Si San Pedro. Putang ina, wala kang ginawa niyo, magbantay ka ng manok mo. Umalis ka dyan. Ayaw ko talaga. I will protect my country the way I did. At saka wala naman akong I will order General Bato or I will order General to kill you. I never said that. You produce me, I will order the army to kill you. I said, I will kill you. That is a legitimate statement of a head of a state to protect his country. Find me a law which says it's wrong. To say that if you destroy the young of my country, I will kill you. Is there something wrong with that? You human rights people. Anong mali dyan? Wala naman akong sinabi na may ordered. Ako, sa awa ng Diyos, wala pa akong pinatay. Ako. Ikaw yung namatay yung iba dyan, di ba pulis na yan? Wala pa akong pinatay. Ano minsan? Style mo lang yan. I will kill you. So how can you sue me? I said, I will kill you if you destroy my country. Dito sa customs, dito naman sa corruption, do not allow yourself to be fooled by just a worker of government. Kaya ulitin ko ito ngayon, dahil pakiano nga, itong directors na to, the cabinet members are only given 1 month. Lahat yan, lalabas ang papel. 1 month kayo. The directors, ulitin mo, when they file lang kayo ng kaso, lahat sila. 15 days. At sabi ko na, ayaw ko nang makita. I'm about to enter my 2nd year. I said, online na. Kaya, Bebot is doing it. Sa kanya marami na. I want everybody to just do it on... Mahusay man kaya yung... Hindi ako marunong, pero... Marunong naman siya ng... Punta ka lang ng paturo. Kan online, lalo na yung mga mahirap. Kasi pabalikin mo yan sila. Taga-probinsya yan. Minsan walang, kung pagsakay dito, you know the traffic, it can be hell for them. Takes them one day to just want to have one office. So I want one building or one whatever monster is that. Na doon na nila kunin lahat. If you cannot group together, then I'm forcing the cabinet and this government of mine to force the online trabaho. Ay nandiyan naman si the most guy that because he was there with the president. Ako nagsishare ako kay Ben Jokno. You can ask them. Whenever he address Mr. Jokno, Secretary Jokno, nagsishare ako. Ay yung iba serkador na yon, Sergio. But yung I mean, I say that I want this. I really want it. Pag sinabi ko 15 days. Walang silbi yung gobyerno pag paabot mo 2 taon. Kabaho naman yan. I mean, kung ganun lang if I cannot control drugs, if I cannot defeat terrorism, you will have my resignation. Believe me. I'll tell you straight. So, give me a chance to kill them one at a time. It is not easy to commit murder. Hindi ako pwede tanan. Corruption Kaya sabi ko, kung sino man yung official who entertains the intervention of any of my sons and daughter, that is enough for me. I will fire you and I will press charges against you and my relative, whoever he is, and you'll have the luxury of seeing me go down. Hindi ko na kailangan itong trabaho na ito. Sa totoo lang. I mean, I have enough. Hindi naman talaga sabihin mo, anak ako ng pobre nga hampas lupa. I have my father. My father used to be governor. So governor siya. At that time, he also had a lot of influence. Governor. So nakapag-ipon rin siya. May farm kami. At ako naman, di ako mahilig sa kainan. Yung kain dito. Huwag lang ma-insulto yung may-ari nito. Sino bang may-ari nito? Yung kay Sanim, maka-order ka pag totoo sa Davao, sa mga Bisaya rin kasi they will cook a Visayan bayan. Inununan ng paborito. I'm not into meat. Yung, sa Tagalog yung inuunan? Paksyo. I can live with paksyo day in, day out. So, wala na ako masaro dyan. Kaya I am reiterating my commitment to the people. So itong sa Marawi, it will be finished in, I'm going there again. But sa Osamis, pupuntahan ko talaga. Let me itong sabi ko. Tingnan mo itong mga sinong taga-Osamis dito? Sinong negosyante taga-Osamis dito? Alam ninyo walang eleksyon doon. Kasi yung mga kalaban, binabaon doon sa Ako, pero hindi ako nagapatay. Sabi ko, kung may panay, si Morales na. Bakit pa natin patagalin? Pero ito, tignan mo, walang eleksyon, takot ang mga tao. It's a reign of terror for how many years? 2 decades? I know the guy. He used to go to Davao. Ang paborito niya yung may basketball team siya. And he wants his team to play most of the time. And he goes to Davao just to maghamon ng laro. Pero alam ko, when I was president, nag-warning na ako sa kanila. Tinawag kong lahat ng mayor, sabihin ko na lang at mga mayor, so kayong do not react na hindi ko naman kayo binabastos. Lahat ng mayor sa Pilipinas in 3 batches, kasi marami. Wala akong sinabi sa kanila, sinabi ko lang, do not or otherwise you face the consequences. I will really kill you. Alam nila yan. So yung si Parahinog namatay, alam niya yun. Yung si Albuera, ito si marami itong pinatay. Kaya hindi naman kasi lahat ng pulis corrupt. Mayroon talaga yung ayaw. Or matter of principle. Konsensya na, pangmapadali natin dito trabaho. Huwag tayong pumasok dyan. That's treason actually. You go against the interest of pabilihin mo ng tao tapos pulis ka. Dito marami yan. Sa bantay kayo dyan. Pero paabutin mo lang sa akin. Kaya hindi ako mamimili kung pulis ka, kung ano. Walang pakialam sa iyo. Total, kung barilin mo yan, kaso pa man yan. Abot pa ng 10 taon yan. Tsaka itong yung lahat na. Ayaw ko talaga yung prison. Itong minsan, talk about the ombudsman. With due respect to the one sitting there now, si Corrales. Alam mo yung corruption. Sa local governments, yung delay ng permit. You tell me. Saka makita ko talaga, yung ombudsman, sige lang yung file ng kaso left and right. You know the batting average of winning a case for the government. It's almost about 2 to 8 acquitted. Ang masaktan ko dyan, kung ano mo talaga ganito, kasi pagka municipal mayor o governor, lalo na itong kaya ni Parahinog, itong, hindi ko lang mamura kasi patay na eh. Yung magsabi yan siya na, i-approve mo yan. O pati yung treasurer, i-approve. Yung mga treasurer, walang nakukuhang pera yan. But pag sinabi ng mayor na walang hiya, tarantado na corrupt, yan, i-approve mo yan. Wala yan silang choice, pipirma yan. Pagdating ng demandahan, itong mayor, maraming abogado, itong mga treasurer auditor, makita mo pumunta ng Sandigan Bayan, magsabi pa na, Sir, minsan kasi mayor, kilala na Davao City, but sa region, bakit nandito ka? Sir, may kaso ako. Makita mo yung damit nila na, barong nila na. Sabi ko, bakit? Sir, demanda kasi yung kaso ng si mayor man yun. Sir, pirma lang man kami, wala kaming magawa. Tapos makita mo, maawa ka na, ngutang pa kami ng pamaser. Ako, nag-overland lang ako, sir. From Davao talaga, initiniis ko. So, diabetic pa ako, sir. Sige, ako ihi. Tapos doon, only to be acquitted. Yung mga gano'n na, yung madali. Ako, piskal ako, yung tamad na, there being a prima facie filed the case. Ayaw, yan lang, there being a prima facie case. Let this case be filed in court. Tapos. Diyan ang mga mahirap. Yung mga mayaman, yung lahat na. Ilang taon nang hindi marunong mag-ano. Piskal ako, tingin ko, I do not have the evidence. Even yung kaya kita mga komunista. Why are we talking to each other? Bakit hindi nila masunog-sunog yung EPG ko? Doon, pinuntahan ko nila sa EDSA. Sabi na, minumura ka doon ng, ako ano? Hindi ko nagpunta ko. I was not there to look for you. I was just asking, bakit? Anong nagawa ko sa inyong... Tama yung minsan you need badly reforms in this. I suggest, ito na lang. magastos talaga ang Constitutional Convention. Now, do not tell me that the composition of that constitutional body would be wiser, would be more honest, walang pinoprotektahan na vested interest. Ako, I suggest that we appoint 24 commissioners. Kung gusto ninyo lahat ng retire ng mga justices, o lagay natin, few civilians, about 5, to prepare inyo. Kaya kay Cory, then just submit it to the constituent bodies. We get rid of some of yung mga offices dyan na di mo na kailangan. But this is my take. Mag-constitutional convention ka, magbayad ka naman. Tagdalawa per district. Maghingi ng opisina. Tapos magdebate niya, wala namang utak yung mga gagawin niya. Pareho lang rin eh. And I'm sure we will end up with something like the same structure, the same embodiment of maybe democracy. Maybe yung structure change. But you will remember me for this. I am sure. When I'm gone, and everything is not all right, you will remember me. If you do not reconfigure the unitary type of government now, which is the one that we're using, and if there is no change in Mindanao, there will be no peace until the end of time for the Philippines. I hate to repeat it again and again, but yung imperialistic practices, both in the Middle East and here in the Far East, created so much trouble for everybody. Well ahead of Magellan in 1521, when he brought in Christianity, Mindanao was already Islam ahead by about 70 years. Sabi nila 100 years, but when I read the archives of Malaysia, yung ng mga dyan sa Sulu, ang nila was the coming in of the Islam missionaries took place ahead of Magellan. Inilit nila yung Mindanao. But they were never able to conquer Mindanao. At that time, it was not territorial, it's about religion. Hindi talaga nila matumba because there was a poste. And that post was really Islam. Ngayon kung pilitin natin, ang MI ngayon is just, we were able to, the rest of Bebot, they were just to, hintayin natin, we will come up with something. If we are not ready to go federal, let us begin with a regional structure that's changed and give to the Muslims. Bahala na sila. Just like the Christians, marami rin corrupt na Muslim. Ay bahala kayo. Some are corrupt, some are not. Same here with us. Marami rin corrupt na Kristiyanos. None others. But bigyan mo talaga, bahala na kung ano gusto. Give them the piece of territory. Na ang sabi nila, nauna kami, bakit ngayon wala kami? So we'll just have to redefine, including the acquisition or the transfer. You acquire, then you give. Or just by arbitrarily, by sabihin mo talaga, this is it. Otherwise, if you do not force the issue, there will always be war. And remember that this time, there is a new element that has entered the picture. ISIS. No, and during the first meeting of the cabinet, I distinctly remember, and during the first meeting with the command conference ko, sa lahat sila, when after all the discussions, nobody really was saying something about it. Sabi ko, gentlemen, meron, I'm sure they remember, alam niyo, there's a dark clouds looming ahead. And sabi ko, ISIS. Pagka nag-mix dyan ng mga extremists sa Mindanao, there will be trouble. And they will tell you that I was telling the truth. Exactly on the dot, to a T. They did come of this, because kasi taga Mindanao kami, you can feel the ground. And most of us are related to each other. No, hindi lang full blood, but you know, my mother, my grandmother, my mother. Alam namin kasi, alam namin. Nagsasabi mo yung mga pinsan na, sa Moga, marami yan sa evacuation center. Kaya ang tanda nyo. Remember that. You will remember me. Tingnan mo. Ba, sinabi ni Mayor Ron. Katong MI pati Sinor, dahil yung personal rapport na, magkaibigan na sa katagalan, kaano. Sabi niya, sige, we'll give you a chance. Oh, give me a chance, it's my time. So, out of, sabi niya, lola ko, maranaw, so, give me time. Pero itong pagpapamasok, pag sumunod ito sila sa ISIS, wala na. Good and very good. We are lucky because si Murad of the MI at si Sinor, ayaw talaga. They are not into extremism too. Ayaw talaga nila. That is why yung two main, hold sila. O yan ang nagbaliktad, or they will join eventually when desperate na ganito pala. Wala, I don't know where I will. Dapat ninyong malaman yan. Itong governance, we will take care of that. I said in the next meeting, Sani can maybe give us a nutshell yung mga, and we will. Pero dito sa corruption, wala talaga. Pagka na-corrupt, kasalanan na ninyo yan. Ibig sabihin, ginusto mo rin na lukuhin ka ng, you know, I said we are just workers of government. We are not even addressed as officials. I do not want the title na nakukurnihan ako. Just, we are workers of government and we work for the people. And we, much as possible, we want to earn, honestly, what's our keep for the day. Baski na konti. Pero itong sabihin ko sa inyo, kulang talaga sa police pati sana. Pag ang police mag first year, second year ang college o ka-graduate lang, ang police hindi na nga pag-aral ng anak niya. That is why we'll just have to take care also of those guys there who are dying. What will happen to their children? I promised them that they'd put up a 50 billion fund. Sabi ko yung, so that, alam mo, ayaw ko namang insultuhin. Everybody is listening all throughout the country. My apologies, but I do not mean to offend anybody. Sila mga graduate lang kung saan-saan dyan. But if they go for higher learning, there are limited schools na talagang merong Ateneo, UP, Lasal. Nila kaya yan. But kung meron, sana lang silang enough to sustain. Yung the gray matter between the ears, tawag ko nga dyan. You have that, they can always aspire for it. They can make use of the 50. Meron na akong 20. All I have to do is, kaya gusto ko marami mag-evade ng taxes. Pagka may nalaman ka nag-evade ng taxes, okay lang, hayaan mo. Ma-one time ko yan, tignan mo. Tapos, Sunny, sabi ko, yun ang Sunny, I need money. Okay, we'll look for it. Maybe, sabi ko nga, in the favorite of the refrain is, in the fullness of God's time, we might be able to get it. Gusto ko mag-iwan ng 50. Kasi kung yung 50, yan nila maubos yan. Because that is intended for a higher learning. Libre naman ngayon. So, Sunny has to sit on his ass thinking every night, anong gawin niya to. Kasi universal education ngayon. Pag sinabi, libre. Kaya mas gusto ko yung maraming bugoy. Kaya kung hindi na mag-aral, mas minus gastos natin. May, saan ba yun ako nagsabi na talking about masteral. Sabi ko, so how many years did you finish? So I took masters, gano'n. Sabi, so almost 7 years. Sabi ko, pareha pala tayo. Sabi niya, kumuha ka rin ng masters? No, hindi. 7 years ako sa high school. Nauna na ito rin sana, nag-graduate na lang kung saan-saan. Ako, nag-aaral pa, let's say. Pero okay rin ang master's degree. As you can see, Gade, bright, valedictorian, Sunny, top, pero mga bata-bata ko lang yan. When they're all working for me. It's good to have a masteral even in high school. Okay. Salamat po.